would humbly like to say thank you again very, very much to the folks who have come to the Florida Maquis here on Patreon and have joined us in a discussion that does not have to worry about political correctness, doesn't have to worry about censors, or worry about folks that have in their mind the idea that advertisers should dictate what people speak about. We have different levels of discussion. We have training that goes on here. The last week or so, we have focused on depersonalization and dehumanization training at the basic level. At the mid-range levels, we've talked about how to do information assessments and how to identify psychological operations when they're being run in your presence or on you. But at the very highest level today, as a result of all of that, our top level subs have finished a actual PSYOP device where we were able to take some open source intelligence and create a psychological operation template to work against a very specific member of the administration. Now, this is all just, training. This isn't something that I'm endorsing for or against anyone. I'm just showing how it can be done. Next week, we are going to be delving into the normality bias and groupthink, the dangers of it, and how it can be used against your enemy in a psychological warfare scenario. That having been said, would love to have you. As low as $1 is fine. We'll get you access to quite a few posts. Clearance levels start at $5, go up to $50. Totally up to you. Like I said, not required at all. We will still be on YouTube conducting all sorts of videos there. And if you give me 1 second, we will start today's video. We'll start here. I have been speaking about this issue with this dam in Colombia. I think some folks have been a little bit confused, thinking that I am rehashing an old risk. This is not the case at all. There was a risk due to the collapse of one tunnel, but after having, mitigated that by finishing the dam to the proper height very, very, very quickly, the government stepping in and insisting that thousands of men work on this, another problem has cropped up. There were tremors in the region that have destabilized these mountains. And this was something that was warned of. This is not something that was new. People tried to stop this dam from being built. And I'm going to explain to you today why they went forward with it. And I think once you understand what the thinking process was, you'll see the dangers of being overly or overtly partisan, because it might cost people their lives in this particular case. Now, let's see if we can get down to where we were. Pardon my lack of organization today. It has been an incredibly rough week. This is... Actually, I'm going to stay here for a minute just to show you the lack of translation. Yesterday, I did a video where I talked about how sometimes language doesn't come through all the way. Increased risks by Hydro-Twango while company delivers groped reports. Well, this is clearly not what they meant. This word is also translated, manosear, means handled. Also means manipulated is what they were going for here, but even Google doesn't have the ability to decipher things properly, so sometimes you have to go back and read things for yourself, but I just thought this would be kind of funny to show you guys. This is a new alert right here, and I'm going to scroll down to zoom into something to show you that this is not something where I'm showing you old information. I don't know if you can see this down here, but 15 hours ago, that's all the older this alert is. Okay, they're having new issues, new problems. Tremors in the region. They have had other tunnels that they were using for drainage that have collapsed and been compromised as well. And this is something that's not going to go away for these people. This dam is never going to be stable. It's never going to be something that, even after having finished the proper height on the dam, they can't use the power generation room. Why? Because when the initial drainage tunnel collapsed, they had to use that room before it was ready to get rid of the water, and it damaged and destroyed all the turbines. So it was supposed to open in November. No chance of that. The company, EPM, is going to be fined a ton of money, and right now it's a salvage operation. But at this time, there is no one, absolutely no one, on the dam site because it is that unstable. 15,000 workers they have evacuated from the site. That's how dangerous the situation is. This is no joke. And I want to bring up that other tab I had. Give me 1 second here. This was just a search I did on Telesur. Okay, that using the term hidrotuango, and it goes back and it shows all of the articles back to before the issue even happened that talk about the protests, about how so many people were against this because they realized that the region was unstable and building this huge dam was going to be a terrible, terrible idea. And of course, everybody who was against it was killed. And it goes down here to the very last article. Let's see if I can find it. That talks about how the reason politicians didn't listen to these people, even though they knew they were right, is because they did not want to be seen as caving into the quote-unquote leftists. That was the reason that they stuck with this dam. And now it's going to probably cost many lives. This is never going to be a functioning dam that actually generates power. It's just going to be this thing where they have to continually shore it up and maintain it and keep it from collapsing. But these tunnels are still going to, at different times, break through the blockages and send limited torrents of water downstream, and they're just going to have to repay the people. And you can see these articles go all the way back to February, and you can read them here on Telesur. Like I said, use Telesur on Google Chrome, and it will automatically translate to English for you, so that you can read through this and you can see the entire story for yourself. But let me go back here real quick to show you. This is let's get back out here. The company EPM. Now, this is their words. This is not my words. Let me tell you what they're saying about the dangers. Okay, the Hidrotuango Dam is at risk of collapse because water that is now discharged through the engine room could erode the structure. Tremors felt over the past few days sparked fear over the geological stability of the mountains that it was warned of a long time ago, between which the dam wall has been built. EPM evacuated, 1,500 workers from the site on Tuesday, effectively shutting down the project for the second time in a month. If the dam breaks or parts of the mountain give in, this could cause one of the worst disasters in Colombia's history. A 26-meter wave would destroy everything while forcing a way through the Cauca River Valley to the Caribbean Sea. If the company is able to stabilize the project, EPM will at least have to repair the damage caused to the turbines and the dam wall structure and pay damages to locals who lost their homes in unexpected flash floods. This is what's going on down there, and this is their report. You know, they're talking about having to change the way this huge energy company runs because of this disaster. And it's an absolute mess. It's not making the news anywhere, but it is enormous, an absolutely enormous area, 125 miles, and Downstream is affected, and they just don't have any real good way to fix this now. Because these mountains that it's set in between, they're not stable. One of these mountains, if they have an earthquake and part of it would cave in or part of it would shift, forget it. It's over. I mean, these structures don't have the ability to handle entire sections of earth moving around them. You weaken one part of this dam and the water comes through. I know that all of you have seen the videos on YouTube. There's tons of them. And I don't know what it is. People love to watch videos of dams breaking. That it only takes one little leak. It only takes one little tiny part of the dam to have a leak, and the leak just feeds off of itself and it just collapses everything, and it doesn't take very long. And that would be the problem. And the kind of water that they're backing up behind this is an amazing amount of water. And then you can see this has been going on. They've been working out here for years and years and years, cutting into these mountains. So this is not something where I'm rehashing an old risk and trying to bring in viewers, trying to talk about the same problem. It's a different problem, same place, just a different issue at a different time. And even they're saying it's haunted. It's a term they're using, that this dam was just never meant to be. So we'll leave it there. Once again, thank you to everyone who has come to the Florida Maquis on Patreon. We very much appreciate it. But like I said, it is not a requirement at all. But we would definitely love to have you over here. We get to talk about things that don't get censored. So like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.